is all about LeBron James. LeBron is going to continue his NBA career and has informed the Lakers that the franchise can move on without him because he's going to be playing elsewhere 2026-2027 season. LeBron came to that conclusion that he wanted to continue playing, quote, meaningful, competitive basketball. Shams, want to start with you here this morning. What is the latest with LeBron James?
Courtney, I'm told LeBron James right now is in Ohio, and he is spending family time. He's taking time to regroup. But in the background, Rich Paul, his agent, got pitches from about a dozen teams when free agency opened up at 6 p.m. Eastern time, with offers, with proposals on what it would look like for LeBron James to come to their team. The important part of LeBron James' decision to inform the Lakers that he is out, that he's leaving the team, he's allowing them to go about their business, is that he wants to go somewhere where there is a chance at a championship, at meaningful basketball, something he felt was not going to be keeping him happy, to put it at the least, if he stayed in LA. And overall, the fact that it's now a decision that's not financially driven, and he's not going to make the decision just based on money, means that all these teams, whether you have a minimum contract to give him, whether you have an exception to give him, or salary cap space, you're going to be involved. Courtney, when I talk to teams around the league, there are three that jump out for LeBron James potentially, and that's the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We know he's already played one championships with the Heat and the Cavs, but the Warriors have been positioning themselves over the last week to try to make a run at LeBron James, but also potentially Anthony Davis, a running mate, a potential package deal to form a big four. So there's still some dominoes conversations that would need to be had there, but the fact that Draymond Green opted out of his $27.7 million deal when the entire NBA and the Warriors expected him to opt in lets you know everything you need to, that this is something Golden State is taking very seriously.
So 12 teams reaching out to Rich Paul, his agent, 3 options that Shams had mentioned, keeping a really close eye on those. Shams, thank you. Stick close. We're going to be glued to our phones all throughout the rest of the day as we wait for more news on LeBron James and others. But last night, Stephen A. reacted to the news and gave his 2 cents on where he thinks LeBron should go next.
Me personally, I think his championship is going back to Cleveland. That's where I think his best shot at a championship is. One could argue Miami too, with Bam and Giannis and Portis, but they got to build a roster. He go to Cleveland without Cleveland having to give up any of its assets. I think they're the automatic favorites in the Eastern Conference.
All right, so let's bring in the rest of our crew here. We heard from Stephen A. He thinks Cleveland would be the best option for LeBron James if you're trying to win a championship right now. But Wendy, what is the best win option now for LeBron in your eyes?
Well, we may not know that just yet, because when you look at the previous times LeBron was a free agent and changed teams, the teams he went to had to break down their rosters and open up a massive amount of salary cap space. He went into salary cap space the last 3 times, these 3 times he changed teams. And so those teams were not built out at all. In fact, some of them had success the first year. You know, we saw them go to the finals in Cleveland and Miami, but their teams weren't built out. All of those teams won the championship in the second year. So the difference now is that the teams he's going to join, it does not have to spend a lot of money on it. He's either going to sign for the $15 million mid-level exception, the $6 million taxpayer exception, or my gosh, he might even take, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, he might even take the minimum. I don't even know if LeBron and minimum would ever be considered, but I guess it's on the table. So that means if you're going to get him at incredible value, your team better damn well be set and ready to go. Now, I wouldn't say he's chasing a ring here where the be-all, end-all is to be on the #1 contender, but he's going to want to be there and every day know that he is going through what he's going through with his body to play on a team that can make a deep playoff run. So that is the mandate. The mandate for the Warriors, the Cavs, the Heat is when they come to him, they better have a very compelling roster. And I do think that we could have a team or two emerge that we don't maybe expect. And I expect LeBron to be able to take his time because that money that he's going to sign for is going to be there no matter when it's going to be there. He doesn't have to sign right now to fill cap space. It's not a cap space signing. So he has the luxury of chilling and waiting and letting those teams improve their case that they present to him.
I mean, the idea, Vince, of a $4 million veteran minimum contract for LeBron James is a little hard to wrap your mind around right now, but the Cavs could be an option. Is there another one that comes to top of mind for you?
Well, the most fun option would be going to Golden State and playing with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green and maybe Anthony Davis and playing with the Warriors, and that sort of destroys the mystique of those 2 guys as competitors, right? The heartwarming story would be going back home and playing with Cleveland and maybe elevating that franchise back, even though I think Cleveland has a bunch of holes. I look at the Miami Heat with Giannis already in the fold, with Bam Adebayo there, Bobby Portis added on. They added Tim Hardaway Jr. for shooting yesterday. Trusting the infrastructure of Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley, what they've been able to do. They always find the Max Struses and the Gabe Vincents and the Duncan Robinsons, players you can find on limited resources. Let's say you add LeBron James to that. Well, he doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the second guy. He can be the orchestrator. He can be the shot maker. But all of the heavy lifting is going to be done by Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have to ask yourself who's going to be doing the heavy lifting in Cleveland. You have to ask yourself who's going to be doing the heavy lifting in Golden State. It's going to be him and Stephen Curry. You want to go to a lower stress situation with a higher upside. And if this is going to be a more than 1 year engagement, which we're not sure it's going to be, you want to go to a team that will have some resources to be able to add at trade deadlines and add in the offseason to get you closer. If you stay west, you got to deal with San Antonio and Oklahoma City, and they ain't going nowhere.
So I feel you on the idea of Giannis as the best player that LeBron could go play with. But that fit with Miami's a little clunky. You got to admit. Like when you have Giannis, Bam, and LeBron in the starting lineup, that's clogging up the paint a little bit. That's not a lot of shooting, and that is still cobbling together a roster around him. If I'm talking about a ready-made thing that fits already and acknowledging the fact that LeBron James said happiness was a part of this, I'm going to stick with Golden State. The happiest I've seen LeBron James in the last few years was playing at Team USA and doing night-night with Stephen Curry on the sidelines after the man made 1 million threes against France. Like, that seemed like happiness. And also, it seemed like a seamless offensive fit. Like, I'm thinking about Stephen Curry and LeBron James in that pick and roll, or doubling Steph Curry at half court, and you kicking the ball to Draymond, or LeBron James in the dunker spot, or you kicking to LeBron and his 4-on-3 with LeBron with the ball in his hands. That just feels like seamless transition already. And traditionally with LeBron James' career, you think, hey, you stay in the East. It's easier to win in the East. The East is tougher this year. Like, the East might be even tougher than the Western Conference. I know OKC and San Antonio are at the top, or top heavy, but you are in the mix in the West if you just go to Golden State.
Wendy, you hear those two teams. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I think Golden State can make a very compelling case. I mean, I don't know about them being a real team that could win the championship if he got there, but I know he would have fun. And I know he hasn't played with them before, but he's kind of played with them before because he played for Steve Kerr in the Olympics and he played with Steph. And those, man, I was around that Team USA. I loved watching them play. They had a blast together. LeBron won MVP of the Olympics, by the way. You know, he thrived playing.